Championship League. Chris Holder's first visit to this National Stadium track. It's looking super quick, but it looks like a good start for Denmark.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to do it. Out of the second gate there, no question about that, because Holder missed it on the inside. He was a touch impatient. Track looks really, really fast. Wouldn't be surprising if this goes very close to a track record. Everson hasn't put a wheel wrong. He's pulling away from Holder out in front. Everson had a poor event one, had all sorts of drama. Got off the motorbike and truth, the Danes did that night. He's out in front. They've got a point to prove tonight.
Yeah, Denmark down the back straight, turns 3 and 4. Everson, the skipper, leading by example. That is a great start for Denmark. Everson is the race winner for the Danes in the blue helmet colour. Chris Holder, I thought, just had a little nibble at the start line.
He did.
Just jumped slightly, and that ultimately proved costly for him. That allowed Everson a fair drop into that first turn, and it was a good start from Everson and a good start for Denmark. 3 big points for them early on. That'll settle the nerves here on the big stage of the National Stadium.
Indeed it will, and Everson, who had an up and down night in Boyens on last Saturday, starts in fine style. He made the start from gate 2 and was untroubled out in front.
Niels Christian Everson, the race winner. Chris Holder was second. Artem Laguta was third. Billy Gennaro at the back. So 3 points for Denmark, 2 for Australia, third for Russia gets a point. And the USA, who are very much the underdogs tonight with no Greg Hancock. Hancock has stood aside for this race-off and has stayed at home, saying that he wants to give the youngsters an opportunity here. No points for the USA, and we saw that movement at the start here, Kelvin.
Yeah, Holder just a little bit impatient there, just had a nibble at the tapes, and that actually cost him. Referee Christian Froscher from Germany tonight doing exactly the right thing there, because Holder effectively penalised himself. This man, though, didn't. He was patient on the start line, he made the start he required, didn't put a wheel wrong, hit the front, 3, 4 immaculate laps, and the Danes are off to a really good start. Some controversy in the Danish camp, no position for the 3-time world champion, of course, Nicky Pedersen. He is not here. Hans Nielsen certainly stamping his authority on proceedings, sticking with the same team that just missed out last Saturday.
Yeah, Hans Andersen in the pits. I know Nicky Pedersen is back in Poland now, testing, practicing for a big Polish league match on Sunday, but would have much rather have been here. But Hans Nielsen made his decision. And we're up to the second race of the night here. Leon Madsen for Denmark going off the inside in the blue helmet. Andrei Kudryashov for Russia goes off gate 2 in red. Luke Becker on his World Cup debut, the under-21 rider. A big moment for Becker. He effectively steps in for Hancock, the 3 times world champion. Hancock saying he wanted to give Becker his opportunity here. And Jason Doyle going off the outside. Third in the world right now for Australia in white.
Big boots to fill for the 17-year-old Luke Becker, and he'll be nervous, there's no question about that. I saw him briefly in Vastavik on Tuesday night, and he was certainly soaking it all up. Only weighs 53 kilos, so he's a lightweight. Here we go.
Yep, certainly is, and it's a good start from Doyle from gate number 4. He's swept across. Doyle, who does have experience here on this Belle Vue track. No practice here today, incidentally, because of the rain, but it was a great start from Doyle, sweeping across from gate number 4.
Oh,
he's in terrific form. I thought he lost it a little bit there. Second place here is Kudryashov for Russia. Third in blue is Leon Madsen. So it's Australia, Russia, and Denmark, and the USA.
Doyle away, super form right now. Doyle really is charging hard. Looking good out in front. Kudryashov from Russia holding on to second place. Leon Madsen there, just sense he's having to hang on a little bit. Maybe the grippy conditions he's finding it a touch tough. Doyle, though, you can see him, he's beginning to relax now after a couple of laps, or 1 lap to go. He's comfortable out in front. The Australians will be fired up. Darcy Ward here working for television this evening. Super to see him. They'll be inspired by that.
Yep, Jason Doyle is cruising to victory here in heat number 2. He rides for Swindon Robbins in the UK. I can tell you Luke Becker has gone down and his bike has gone under the air fence. So Luke Becker has crashed in his first ever ride in the Monster Energy Speedway World Cup. All part of the experience, I guess. But that's a fine ride from Jason Doyle, who is one of the form riders in World Speedway right now. It was a super ride from gate number 4. Becker, his debut ride in the World Cup, though, one to forget in the way it ended, but thankfully he's okay.
That's good news. Doyle, of course, we saw him ride so well on Tuesday, and he picks up where he left off effectively by coming up with a stunning opening ride for him. Good to see Luke Becker up and about, as you rightly say. I'm sure the bike probably needs more attention than the rider. But this is a baptism of fire for a 17-year-old just coming across from California. The conditions are entirely different here, but Doyle wins in style.
Doyle the winner with Kudryashov second. Third for the Danes there was Leon Madsen. Means after a couple of heats here, Australia are on 5, Denmark 4, Russia on 3, and the USA have yet to score. They are going to find it tough. They are giving their youngsters a chance tonight with the situation regarding Greg Hancock, by the way. I checked with Lance King, the USA team manager, earlier. He said this was the plan all along. If they were going to get to the race-off, Greg would step aside and give the youngsters the experience in the race-off, and they will be back in the World Cup next year.
Absolutely. We see the rerun again coming from the outside. Doyle makes light work of it. It comes across the Russian Kudryashov, and from that moment on, in truth, he really is in complete command of the heat, and he dominates it. He's very comfortable on the bike now. Lots of confidence, of course, from Jason these days. He is a Grand Prix winner, and he wins his opening ride very easily. Luke Becker there just slipping off at the back, and that's unfortunate for him, but good news, he's up and about and he'll be able to take his remaining rides. But for a 17-year-old, that was, as you rightly said, it was a baptism of fire. But I just sensed this evening that there could well be a big battle between Denmark and Australia. Australian riders will have prior experience to that. But we've got Emil Saifutinov coming out in this next heat, and I've got to say, his performance last Saturday in Boyens was terrific. 18 points he scored, and it was good to see a rider of his calibre who has opted out of World Championship Speedway in recent seasons. Good to see him on the World Championship stage once again. Yeah, and he did say that he was delighted to be back in the World Cup with Russia. It's his first ever visit to this track, Emil Saifutinov, and he won't have done any laps because of that practice being cancelled early, which is quite significant today. It is. Many riders that haven't even seen this track before today and haven't had the chance to do any practice. It is, of course, the home of the world-famous Belle Vue Aces, who used to ride just across the way in Kirkenside Lane, and also at Hythe Road in the great days, the halcyon days of the 60s, 70s, 80s, world champions galore. Obi Fundin, Ivan Major, Peter Collins, Jason Crump at Kirkenside Lane. A rich history of the Belle Vue Aces. This is heat number 3 now. Here's your lineup. Emil Saifutinov, the brilliant Russian, off the inside in red. Sam Masters for Australia goes off 2 in white. Kenneth Pierre for Denmark, gate 3 in blue. Brock Nicol, who flew in from the USA in midweek for this meeting. He's a replacement for Ricky Wells, who struggled on Monday, and he's the son of Doug Nicol, who had a spell riding from Middlesbrough here in the UK back in the 90s. Yeah, Brock was a reserve for them last year, but he's got his opportunity this time around. Leon Madsen and Niels Christian Iversen there keenly looking on after their opening rides. Track is grippy. The track will develop, and I'm sure we'll see more overtaking as the evening goes on, but no doubt bike setup will be key. With no practice today, particularly for riders that haven't seen these riders today, it will be a case of sort of suck it and see in the opening ride. But Saifutinov on the inside, he will be favourite now. Yep, here we go with heat number 3. Again, a very nervy, edgy start. Sam Masters for Australia is there. Saifutinov loses it completely. That allows Pierre on the inside. Masters has the lead here in the white helmet colour. Now Saifutinov is going to take up the challenge in second. He's blasted his way around Kenneth Pierre. He's got a lot of speed, Saifutinov. Can he chase hard after Sam Masters of Australia now? He's a lot quicker than Masters. He's closing the gap. We've got a race on now. We have indeed. He made a poor mistake in the first corner, but he's really flying in second place. Masters was sharp away from gate 2. Got the better of Saifutinov on the run to the first corner, but the Russian has recovered with Pierre back in third. The American Brock Nicol is just outclassed. He's tailed off. Masters, who rode for Australia on Tuesday, just faded a little bit and found it tough. Mark Lemon, the team manager, was talking about the fact he's been so very busy. But Saifutinov charging hard in second place. Well, this is a brilliant ride from Sam Masters. It has to be said, he's held his line superbly. Saifutinov has a go to the line, but Sam Masters, one of the busiest men in Speedway right now, has just pulled off a wonderful win for Australia. Saifutinov charged hard after him there, but it wasn't to be. And once again, USA at the back, but that was a great ride from Masters. As you said, Kelp, he did struggle at times on Tuesday in Vastavik,
but he has given Australia a 3-point cushion now here in Manchester with that ride, and Saifutinov chased hard after him.
He did indeed, and the Australians started very well on Tuesday, in truth, with 10 points from the first 4 heats, but then subsequently faded. They need to keep this good start going, but Sam Masters, that was a super ride under a lot of pressure from Saifutinov.
Masters the winner, Saifutinov second, Pierre was third, and now look at the progressive totals here. Australia have 8, Denmark have 5, Russia have 5, USA have yet to score. They are up against it tonight. In all reality, they will probably struggle to score double figures tonight over the 20 races, USA. They are blooding the youngsters, but Australia for them, so far, so good.
Yeah, they're in good form. They're 3 points up, and they'll be chuffed to bits with this start. Sam Masters there made an excellent start. A sense that Saifutinov had a touch more speed back in second place, but unfortunately for the Russian, you watch it as they come into the first corner here, just slips on the inside there. He had his front wheel very close to the curb. Don't know that if that interfered with him. He then sets about Pierre. He sweeps around the outside in turns 3 and 4, gets himself comfortably into second place. Masters then had to ride savvy here, had to really cover the lines because Saifutinov was charging hard, and as hard as the Russian tried, all credit to young Sam Masters. He comes up with a terrific ride in which is such a tense affair. The race off, only the winner going through to the final tomorrow. You can ill afford to run last places. So Sam, got to say that that was a character building ride from him. Terrific.
Yeah, very much so. Very, very busy. Rides for 2 clubs in the UK. Wolverhampton in the top flight, the Elite League, and also rides for the Edinburgh Monarchs, who are in action tonight, by the way. They're riding Sheffield at Armadale, but they're using guest riders to cover for the likes of Ryan Fisher and Sam Masters, who are required here. Michael Jepsen for Denmark off the inside. Grigory Laguta for Russia off 2. Ryan Fisher for the USA looking for their first points off 3. And Max Frick of Australia goes off the outside. He's done a lot of laps around here, young Max Frick. He is a Belle Vue rider.
He has indeed, and Max Frick rode brilliantly on Tuesday in Vestervik. I've got to say, he could be a star man for them tonight. Grigory Laguta, keep your eyes on him. Oh, Fisher.
Well, the red lights are on straight away. Red lights are on immediately. I think for sure Ryan Fisher had a little bit of movement at the start.
It looked to me that he touched the tapes there, and that'll be very frustrating for the Americans. They're going to have a tough night, in truth, with so many youngsters in the team. It's not going to be easy for them. He jumps, he touched the tapes, he will be excluded. That's the rules. Christian Froschauer, the referee, will have no choice, and unfortunately for Ryan, he's just a touch impatient, so he's the one to go. Yeah, there's the exclusion light on, and Ryan Fisher is frustrated to say the least. Yeah,
revs a bike up in frustration and makes his way back to the pits area as an angry man right now.
Interesting though, unfortunate for Ryan Fisher, Nige, but I'm very keen to see Grigory Laguta. He's a rider that in actual fact has performed very well in the leagues in Sweden and Poland, and at times has been talked about as the possibility of being a wild card for the World Championship. Didn't ride on Saturday because of a hand injury, but he is a hard charger, and on his night, I tell you, he can take a lot of points here this evening.
Yep, heat number 4 coming up then here, and Max Frick is very popular with Belle Vue. The Aces moved here actually at the end of last season, and there were problems in the early stages with this track where they had to delay the start. The opening meeting was actually called off before a race was ridden here at the National Speedway Stadium. It had problems. It took about another month or so, 6 weeks to get ready. Lance King, the USA team manager, is talking to his riders. Former rider himself, Lance King, was a world number 3 in 1984. Spent quite a few years here in the UK with Cradley Heath, Bradford Dukes, Kings Lynn Stars as well.
Yeah, in truth, he didn't have a long enough career. He was a world-class rider, and the tender age of 27, he decided to call it quits.
Jepsen off the inside, Laguta off 2, no rider on 3. Max Frick goes off the outside. We have Australia in a great position now on 8 points, 3 ahead of Denmark and Russia right now. So, can Jepsen make the start off the inside? Or can Grigory Laguta deliver the goods for Russia, or will it be Frick off the outside?
Well, Jepsen, of course, on his day is a genuine world-class rider, but in truth, his season this year hasn't been that impressive. I get the feeling he was picked for Voyance because he's won there in the past, But Jepsen Jensen, if he's on form, he'll be a tough man to beat. But it's a tough race.
Here we go. And the tapes go up, and Jepsen Jensen has got there from the inside gate now. Here comes Laguta. What a move from the Russian down the back straight. Very clever move, and up the inside here for Team Australia.
Laguta pulls a big locker. Frick had nowhere to go. Frick was fortunate. Well, he landed very heavily there. Grigory Laguta just locking up in the middle of turns 3 and 4, and Frick had dived up the inside of Jepsen Jensen, ran out of room and falls heavily.
Yeah, it's an awkward tumble for Max Frick. Let's hope he's going to be up and about very shortly. Somebody will have to go here. The referee has got a decision to make. Here we see it again.
Yeah, Grigory Laguta gets the better of Jepsen Jensen. Here comes Frick up the inside. It's grippy there. Laguta now pulls that locker. Look, almost turns it inside out. Frick's got no chance there but to run in the back of him. I would say that Laguta's got to be the cause of the issue here. Look, pulls a massive locker. Frick, nowhere to go. Just cannot avoid him. Over the high side on a heavy fall. Grigory Laguta is the cause of the problem right there. And in truth, it should be Laguta that goes.
Well, Max Frick landing on his shoulder, that could be a collarbone, a shoulder, or if he's fortunate, he may well get away with it. Let's hope that that is the case. We are awaiting an exclusion light, and we are hoping that Max Frick will be up on his feet very shortly. He's sat up. That's a good sign.
Very much so.
But he's going to be a little bit battered and bruised. I think that's an understatement, Kel.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to feel like a herd of elephants have just run over him, haven't they? Because that was a heavy fall. He'd made that move on the inside of Jepsen Jensen. But as he did that, unfortunately for Laguta, he pulls that locker and he can do nothing about it. And Laguta was really the cause of the issue there. If he hadn't have done that, then there wouldn't have been contact.
We are still waiting for a decision from Christian Frochard, the referee. Kelvin, you seem quite convinced that Laguta may have to go here.
Laguta there turning the bike inside out, literally stops, and Frick has got no issues, cannot avoid him. And there's no exclusion light yet, but that's the issue from Laguta, where he just locks up. And Max Frick is just helpless there. He's got up the inside of Jepsen Jensen nicely. He's riding on the inside. And then all of a sudden the loss of momentum from Laguta means he just cannot avoid him.
Well, of course, if a rider cannot take his place due to an injury, you can call up the reserve. And in Australia's case, it is the under-21 rider Brady Kurtz, who is a very, very talented rider. We are just waiting confirmation, but it does appear as though Grigory Laguta is disqualified. The red light is on. I think that's the red light that's on anyway.
I think so. It's in the sunshine. So the red light, I think, is on. So it'll be interesting to see the reaction.
Yep. Well, let's hear from the pits now, and here's Steve Brandon.
Niels, from a rider's perspective, tough decision for the referee there, watching the replays.
Yeah, it is a bit tough. I don't know, it's his decision, not mine.
All right, well, look, concentrate on the meeting with Denmark for a minute. It's going to be one of those meetings tonight where everyone's just going to have to be patient and do their job.
Yeah, it's important. Every race is important, and it's going to be close because Aussie seems to have a little bit of a gap now already. But we need to make some points and will them in.
But the format of the World Cup, we say it all the time. It's a couple of races, it changes very, very quickly.
Yeah, it can change. With the Joker and everything, things can change pretty quick. So here we have 3 teams, which is capable of winning a lot of races. USA is a bit hit after Greg pulled up, but that's the way it is. It's a tough meeting, and we need to make the most of it. Yeah.
A great start tonight for you. Word on the track, it looks a pretty good racetrack tonight.
It is good. It's quite grippy, but I think it's right. You have the space to have some grip on the track. So you need to ride with your head and need to make some good starts.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Well, he did make a good start, and there's no question that his performance in the opening ride for the Danish team was exactly what the captain should produce. But subsequently, the Australians have bounced back, and they lead the meeting at this early stage. Good to see Max Frick making his way back with his teammates. Awkward situation, no malice in it. Unfortunate for Laguta, just to have pulled that big locker in turns 3 and 4, and Frick had made the move to pass Jepsen Jensen. And Frick is a rider that there's no question has got a lot of potential and will be a star of the future for the Aussies. And he rode very well on Tuesday. And as a rider here, he rides here. Of course, he knows the place like the back of his hand, but possibly not quite in these conditions, Nige, because it's pretty grippy, and the rain we had earlier today has emphasised that. So it will take a few races for riders just to figure it out.
Well, thankfully there's no sign of Brady Kurtz getting ready, which would mean that Frick would be out. And now it's a question of all hands to the pump, getting the bike ready. And let's get some Australia reaction with Chris Holder from the Australian camp with Steve Brandon.
Chris, first an update on Max. How is he?
Yeah, he's landed on his shoulder pretty good and knocked the wind out of him, and it's a pretty fast track, so any time you land you're going to hurt, but he said he's okay, so he'll go in the rerun and go from there.
And a guy obviously knows the track well, but a good start from all the boys.
Yeah, we've started off really good. I sort of made a meal of the first one, but then Doyle and Sam pulled out the good ones off some good gates, and hopefully Max can do the same now.
Did you get a little bit cheeky and impatient at the start, Mr. Holder?
Maybe a bit. They seemed to be holding them for a little bit, and I just was ready to go, and then it didn't quite work out, and didn't have that much speed either, so I made a few changes, and hopefully it'll be sweet.
But it's a format we know in the World Cup. You have to start well, but you've got to keep it going. You can't really slip up at all.
That's it. We need to be in the top two at least, all the way through. No third or last places really, and we've got off to a good start, but it's early days and we need to keep it rolling.
I'll let you get back to the boys. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think the key, as we know in this World Cup format, is to avoid last places, but ironically we are going to only have two finishers here. One of them will be from Denmark and one of them will be from Australia. Right now, the Australians lead Denmark and Russia by 3 points, and the USA are yet to score. They won't score here because Ryan Fisher is excluded. So two riders only. It's like a good old-fashioned match race here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Between Michael Jepsen-Jensen in blue and Max Frick in white.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who gains the advantage early on, because Jepsen-Jensen, you would favour him on the inside. Frick, of course, has all the local knowledge, riding for the Aces here on a regular basis. And it'll be interesting to see how he works out. He had actually got the better of Jepsen-Jensen on the opening lap because he dive bombed him going into turn 3. It will be an interesting race, but of course Max Frick will want to keep the Danish rider behind him. They've made a good start and they want to stretch that point to a 4-point lead at the end of this race, if at all possible.
Here we go then. It's a straight shootout. Denmark in blue, Australia in the white helmet colour, and Jepsen-Jensen has made a good start. Now, what can Frick do here? He's following the back wheel and he's lost ground there. Jepsen-Jensen looking good here then. He had a good night last weekend in Boyance. Michael Jepsen-Jensen, a track that we know he loves so much. We're going into lap 2, and Max Frick, really, it's going to take some effort now if he's going to catch the man in front, Jepsen-Jensen.
Yeah, made the start there. The shorter run off the inside gate has proved to be an advantage. Max Frick just running into trouble initially. He's right there, but with Michael Jepsen-Jensen in the dirt, the fastest line, he's going to need to make a mistake, I think, if Frick is going to get the better of him. At this stage, with just over a lap to go, Jepsen-Jensen is doing a good job, a really good job here for the Danes, and he's just going to reduce that lead for the Australians down to 2 points. So Jepsen-Jensen riding well.
Yep, so Michael Jepsen-Jensen is going to take Denmark onto 8 points here. Frick having a go late on, but just wasn't able to get there. Jepsen-Jensen with a very good move. That's his first ever ride on this National Speedway Stadium track here in Manchester. So it's 8 points for Denmark now, 10 to Australia. And every rider has now completed one ride here in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup race-off. Only the group winners tonight go through to the World Cup final tomorrow. This is your last chance saloon. A second chance as well, as these are the second and third teams from the opening 2 events here. So, just to confirm the result then, a win for Michael Jepsen-Jensen. Max Frick was second. The latest scores after 4 heats here: Australia lead on 10, from Denmark on 8, Russia on 5, and the USA are yet to score.
So 4 down, and it's Aussie ruled so far. Hits 5 to 8 from Belle Vue coming up after this break. Hello and welcome back to the World Cup race-off. Australia leading at this early stage, but already strewn with incidents. And Max Frick in that last heat, Scott, landed so heavily. What a hero to come out and race straight away.
He certainly did. It was, I thought it had collarbone written all over that, but tough little character. He did well to get up. Kind of felt for Gregory Laguta there because no practice as his first laps around the track and the conditions are a little bit tricky, but track looks good.
Yeah, there was a lot of anticipation about Laguta as well, so it's a shame to see that. But in terms of Max Frick, there was absolutely nowhere for him to go here, was there?
No, that's it. Max runs in there, you see Laguta. The track just catches him out a little bit. There's no intent. It's almost, you could argue that you could put them all back in just because that's unintentional from Laguta, but he was the reason why Max fell down. Fortunately, Max got up, managed to bag 2 points in the rerun and keep that Australian lead.
Yeah, and going back to Heat 3 then, Sam Masters was absolutely masterful, and I wonder how much of that prior track knowledge really helped him in that, because obviously he's raced here when he's been with Wolverhampton.
Definitely, I think that will have helped, just his knowledge of the actual lines on the track more than the conditions, and I think he answered a few questions in that one too, because he was the one that was possibly signalled out as maybe the weak link after Tuesday. Put my teeth back in.
For you to say.
But yeah, I'm the weak link, aren't I? But no, I mean, Sam Masters there, and with Emil Saifutinov on the inside, he forced him hard. Emil made a mistake there, but Emil did really good to reel Sam in. Was possibly a little bit quicker, but Sam ran a smart race there, kept his cool and got the 3 points. That will have done his confidence well to good for tonight.
And that mistake from Saifutinov, just a little bit too keen, do you think?
Possibly so. It was more, I think, his front wheel ran on the concrete on the inside, so he lost traction from the front end, which is what caused him to kind of make that erratic turn in the first corner. But he'll be much more settled after every rider now, apart from Laguta, will have done those 4 laps and be a lot more settled.
Yeah, exactly. But Australia have come out and they really mean business, don't they? And you saw that team spirit when Max went down, and the 4 of them walking along the track together. They're so tight, aren't they?
They certainly are. It's kind of... That's the extra team member, and that really helps. I think it's a benefit to them that they have Max and Sam that have both ridden here, and also Mark Lemon, team manager. He's the team manager for the Belle Vue Aces, so he knows a few of the little inside tricks as well.
Yeah, and do you think also it's given them a lift, the fact that Darcy's here?
Definitely, it'd be a massive inspiration for them. They're a very close-knit community, and they would love to lift that flag in honour of Darcy Ward tonight, but more importantly get through to that final for tomorrow.
Yeah, it was a big challenge for Darcy to be here. I mean, undoubtedly, as much as you can say a future world champion, he absolutely would have been.
There's no question about it. He had his ups and downs on, off the track and one thing or another, but I really feel for him because he really seemed like he'd turned that corner, really knuckled down, and when he came back, he was just a class act, and it's such a shame. But the thing with Darcy is that, whatever he turns to now in life, he'll be successful at it, yeah, and he'll have a positive attitude. You saw the way he conducted himself in here. That's phenomenal. It wasn't that long ago he had that accident. To be back in the Speedway arena, that was a very big move for him.
So in terms of the track tonight, they've all had a race now, they've been out there, they've settled the nerves. What do you think we can expect moving forward?
The track looks great. I really think the rain has helped. Niels Christian Iversen, Heat 1, goes out and breaks the track record, so that's a sign of how good the track is. He looked very comfortable. I think they're doing a track prep now, they're bringing that dirt back, but I think you'll see the dirt moving out. Gate 4 is very tough early on. Jason Doyle did fantastic to get off Gate 4, but I think Gate 4 will start to come into play a little bit later when that dirt line moves out.
And Australia leading the way, but clearly Denmark aren't behind. I mean, this is so tight today, isn't it? Do you see this going through for the whole evening?
Definitely, I see it. Now once Russia they've had their block of races, like I say, it's a shame that Gregory Laguta didn't get to complete 4 laps, but he's got a small taste of the track. I think it's a real close 3-horse race. I mean, I picked Australia at the outset, but I think it'll be very close.
You can't start changing.
I'm going to jump on the fence.
It's going to be hard work for the team managers later on, isn't it, with some tactics, with their crucial choices?
It is. I think that's where it will come into play later on. I don't think you'll see a joker used from those 3 nations. I think it's too tight.
Yeah, well, we're certainly having some excellent racing tonight. Of course, this is the race-off in the World Cup. The winners of tonight will be going through to the final tomorrow. Let's get more of the action now. Heats 5 to 8. Here's Kelvin and Nigel.
Riders making their way out for heat number 5 then here in Manchester, and we have Sam Masters as the Australian representative. Very impressive with his win first time out here. And for Brock Nicol and Ryan Fisher, Billy Gennaro, Luke Becker, it is a real tall order to make any kind of impact tonight. They've yet to score a point, the USA, and they have Ryan Fisher in this heat, who touched the tapes in his opener. He's got lots of experience in this country, Ryan Fisher. So if you are looking for points, you'd think that he is going to be the one that will do the bulk of the USA scoring tonight. Riders making their way round for heat number 5. Every rider has now completed one ride, even those that actually touched the tapes or were excluded for another reason. It still counts as one completed programmed ride in the side. So the riders up at tapes and getting set for action here for heat number 5 of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup race-off here in Manchester at the home of the Belle Vue Aces. Heat number 5, here we go then with Sam Masters for Australia off the inside in the white helmet. Ryan Fisher goes off gate 2 in yellow for the USA. Leon Madsen gate 3 blue for Denmark. And Artem Laguta off the outside in red for Russia. We remind you that Australia have a 2-point lead over Denmark right now, 10 points to 8. That's how it looks as we build up to heat number 5 here. And a big race. Every race is a big one right now with the stakes so high, and only the winners going through to the final here tomorrow night in Manchester, including the home nation Great Britain and the reigning world champion Ty Woffenden. So here we go. Heat number 5, green lights on, and then away first time of asking, and Sam Masters from the inside gate has made a nice one here. Second place is Ryan Fisher, third in blue right now is Leon Madsen for Denmark, and the man at the back is Artem Laguta. But Sam Masters is riding fantastic tonight for Team Australia. He is well and truly on it, Kelvin.
He is indeed, superstar from the inside. He looks comfortable in these conditions and he's flying out in front. Fisher actually making up here for his mistake first time. He's comfortable in second place. Leon Madsen, I'll tell you what, looks a little bit uncomfortable, as does Artem Laguta from Russia, who's out the back. But Masters is comfortable, he's away. The action is for second and third. But Leon Madsen looks a touch tentative, with Ryan Fisher riding pretty well in second place. The Danish rider really must be looking for a way to force his way through to second place.
Yeah, very much so. Sam Masters has got this race carved up nicely. Australia are going to move on to 13 points. Great ride from him. Ryan Fisher second, and Leon Madsen, who, I agree with you, Kelv, he was riding very tentatively, particularly going into the turns.
Yeah,
tight on the inside. He looked very nervous, but Sam Masters, could he be an unlikely hero tonight for Australia? 2 rides, 2 wins, and very, very convincing along the way. It was a magnificent ride. USA get a couple of points on the board for the first time tonight, and it does mean now that Australia are in a decent position now with 13 points to their name. They're 4 clear of Denmark. They've doubled their lead. Sam Masters ahead of Ryan Fisher and Leon Madsen, and now look at the scoreline. 13 to Australia, 9 to Denmark, 5 to Russia, 2 to the USA, and Australia now doubling their advantage to 4 points, Gil.
It's going their way, and there's no question that they have settled better than the opposition, and Sam Masters has gone back-to-back wins, and he's looking terrific. The inside gate was an advantage, but he didn't fail, he didn't miss out, and he was comfortable in front. Tapes up, they roar towards the first corner, and it's all about the Australian rider Masters. He fires himself to the front and he clears off, and they really cannot land a bow. Leon Madsen back in third place for the Danish team really didn't attack the conditions. He looked tentative, he wasn't able to really give it his all, and Ryan Fisher was able to finish in front of him, and that allowed the Australians now to stretch their lead out to a 4-point lead. Masters, who found it tough going on Tuesday in Vestervik, has started like a house on fire tonight.
Yeah, very much so. He looks super quick, doesn't he? Magnificent ride, 2 rides and 2 wins for Sam Masters as we move on to heat number 5, and we have now had it confirmed that Brady Kurtz will come in for Max Frick here. Max Frick has been to the medical room and has been ruled out of heat number 6 with the injury sustained in that first outing. So Brady Kurtz comes in for a World Cup debut. Andrei Kudryashov for Russia off the inside. Brady Kurtz, under 21 substitute for Max Frick off 2. Brock Nicol of the USA gate 3. Niels Christian Iversen for Denmark. who won his opening ride, the opening ride of the night.
Yeah.
He goes off the outside in blue.
And Iversen will be favourite here. He has the experience. He's won the World Cup before. He's a Grand Prix winner, and he won his opening ride tonight. And he looked pretty fast. Kurtz, this is tough coming in at this stage. He will be very nervous on the start line, but in truth, he should have the beating of the Russian rider, Kudryashov, and Nickel from America. Here we go.
Yep, heat number 6 it is. Now, can Iversen get there? Kurtz has made a good start, but Iversen is blasting round the outside now. The Russian in red is riding well too, Kudryashov, but it's Niels Christian Iversen who has the lead. Brady Kurtz is second for Australia, Kudryashov is third, and the man at the back is Nickel. But Iversen is looking good, and I'll tell you what, for an under-21 reserve, Brady Kurtz isn't looking bad either.
Kurtz is a quality rider, Nigel, and there's no surprise for me that he's settled in second place. Iversen's quick tonight, isn't he? He went roaring around the outside, and as he did in his opening ride, he's cleared off out in front. Kudryashov was there initially, but is now being tailed off. What a ride this is from Iversen. He had a difficult night on Saturday in Boyens. Made a few mistakes. He got off the motorbike pretty hard when he crashed against the fence, but tonight so far, he is well perfect. The captain from Denmark doing the business.
Yep, Niels Christian Iversen riding superbly, but with Brady Kurtz getting second there for the Australian side. It's damage limitation for them. And the Russians, it has to be said at the moment, not really as powerful as we thought they would be. They've managed 6 points now from the opening 6 heats. Denmark on 12, and Australia are on 15 points right now. But Niels Christian Iversen looks super quick. This track clearly suits him. Riding beautifully. Kurtz made a good start there for Australia.
Yes.
But Iversen dominated.
Absolutely, and Kurtz initially dropped the clutch beautifully out of gate 2, but that run round the middle of the first corner from Iversen was devastating. He had the speed, and he went down the back straight and he fired himself to the front. He picked up a very useful 3 points.
And these are your totals after 6 heats here. Australia 15, Denmark 12. And we have Russia on 6 and the USA on 2. A reminder about the Joker rule, by the way. When a team is 6 points behind the leading nation, they can nominate a rider for double points under the Joker rule. It can happen. And the whisper that we are getting back from the pits is that Niels Christian Iversen has just set a new Belle Vue track record there.
No surprise, the previous record was 59.8. I don't know quite how much he shaved off that, but nonetheless he has done, and this is the reason why. He comes from the outside. He has to work hard initially because Kudryashov and Brady Kurtz had got there in front of him, but he had the speed and he allowed the bike to run, wheels in line early, foot up on the footrest, and he takes quite a lot off the track record. I'm hearing it's a 59.2.
58.2.
58.2, so
wow.
Well over a second. That is quite a significant drop in the track record. That won't be happening every week, that's for sure. So Iversen full of smiles, and so will be his teammates. Great stuff from him.
Yep, Hans Andersen not riding tonight, but still in the pits here in Manchester to lend his support to the Danish side as we build up to heat number 7. And here is your lineup going off the inside gate. Luke Becker for the USA, Chris Holder gate 2 in white for Australia, gate 3 Michael Jensen for Denmark, and Emil Sayfutinov off the outside gate. It's a long way to that first turn, but if anybody can get there, Emil Sayfutinov can.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, I'm sure he'll be looking for that turn back up the inside. He's very adept at riding the inside, there's no doubt about that. Luke Becker on the inside, what must he be thinking? He looks to his right, and he's got genuine world-class riders. Really is a big, big night for the 17-year-old. Very competitive heat here. Holder out of gate 2.
Yep, this is heat number 7, and Holder's made a good start for Australia. Chris Holder is there, now charging the inside run. In red is the Russian Emil Sayfutinov. Third in blue here is Michael Jensen for Denmark, but Chris Holder is a class act. He's looking good here. He is riding superbly going into lap 2. He actually rides in Poland for Torun, and Torun's track is a very similar shape to this, but once again Sayfutinov has speed, and Sayfutinov is taking up the challenge. Sayfutinov is closing the gap, and we're into lap 3.
Holder out of the game, made a pretty good start, but Sayfutinov's got speed. He's now clambering all over the back of the Australian. It's going to be a tough last lap for Holder. Holder's going to have to really wind it on. Back in third place, Jensen and Sayfutinov. So much speed in the motorbike, looking for a way through.
Yep, Holder's got speed as well though. Emil, you feel, is going to have to go wide with a final push here. Holder's held a very clever line.
Yeah.
Holder's held superb speed too. And it's a big win for Australia. And with Denmark third, Australia gain another 2 points there in the cause of getting through to the World Cup final. Sayfutinov though clearly has a lot of speed in that engine. If only he can make the start. And what it means now with that result is that the team in white, Australia, with Chris Holder, are now 5 clear of Denmark after 7 heats. Only the winners go through to the World Cup final here in Manchester tomorrow night. Max Frick with ice on the shoulder there, you see, and clearly in quite a bit of discomfort. Heat 7, the official result, a win for Chris Holder. Had to work hard though with Sayfutinov all over him. Jensen was third. 7 heats gone. This is the score now. It's 18 to Australia, 13 to Denmark, Russia on 8 and the USA on 2.
Yeah, super stuff there. There's no question that Chris Holder needed to make a start there, because Sayfutinov, I get the feeling if he'd got his nose in front, they wouldn't have seen which way he went, because he had so much speed. He was looking for a way through, but you nailed it, Nige. Holder rode a very savvy line, and as hard as Sayfutinov tried, he just couldn't find his way through. We see it again here with Holder coming out of gate 2. He's comfortably in front as he gets to the first corner, with Jensen forced to the outside, and Sayfutinov coming from gate 4 immediately switches to the inside. Then he sets about the former world champion Chris Holder, nearly getting there, but Holder, with his experience, was able to cover all the moves that the young Russian was making. And as hard as Sayfutinov tried, he just couldn't find a way through. But the Australians are really in control of this meeting at the moment. As hard as Denmark are trying, every time they just nibble back at the lead, then the Australians come out and just re-establish their lead. Peter Johns there on the right-hand side has won the World Championship. His engine tune is, his engines have won the World Championship for the last 4 years. So a very vital man to have in the pits.
Heat number 8 is Jason Doyle off the inside, a winner first time out for Australia. Billy Gennaro gate 2 in yellow for the USA. Grigory Liguta for Russia off 3, and Kenneth Pierre is off the outside gate. Looking good for Australia again here, it has to be said, Kel.
It's falling right for them, isn't it? The inside gate will be an advantage, and when you've got a rider of Doyle's quality, yes, I agree entirely. It is a great bonus to have. Pierre, who was steady in his opening ride, will be looking to produce something better than his 3rd place that he picked up, but Liguta, who will be frustrated coming out of gate 3. He's a hard charger, don't discount him.
Yep, very much so. Russia, I thought, might have done a bit better than this so far. 8 points under their belt. This is heat number 8 now. Grigory Liguta made a good start. Jason Doyle is there in white. Now Liguta will try the inside run, and the man in yellow, Billy Gennaro, having a real go for the USA here. And Kenneth Pierre has gone square in that 3rd turn, and the Danish rider is at the back right now. That's bad news for Denmark, because the leader here is Jason Doyle, Billy Gennaro, and the USA battling hard with Grigory Liguta.
Good battle for 2nd and 3rd. Gennaro coming back to ride for his country. Haven't seen him for a while. Liguta now making that 2nd place here. Doyle, as we expected, has cleared off out in front. He is in a different stratosphere. He really has got the speed. Liguta with Kenneth Pierre at the back. That's disaster for the Danish team. But the Joker now, all of a sudden, they are now approaching Derek. Oh my goodness gracious! Kenneth Pierre very nearly hitting the back of Billy Gennaro. But Doyle comfortably wins the race.
Yeah, great ride from Jason Doyle. 2nd place in red is Grigory Liguta. Billy Gennaro 3rd for the USA. Kenneth Pierre trails in at the back, and that's bad news for Denmark. Pierre has managed now just 1 point from 2 rides. A reminder, Hans Nielsen has overlooked Hans Andersen. He's overlooked the 3 times world champion Nicky Pedersen, and they are under pressure now, Team Denmark, because they're 8 points behind the Australian side. Will they go for the tactical joker anytime soon? Let's just confirm the official result for you. It's a win here for Jason Doyle. 2nd place, Grigory Liguta. Billy Gennaro was 3rd. And Kenneth Pierre at the back. It means this is the progressive score now. Australia 21, Denmark 13, Russia 10, USA 3. And Denmark are in joker territory. We'll find out if they go for it soon.
So Sam Masters is the master blaster for Australia. 2 wins from 2 races. It's all going down under so far. Join us for all our reaction after the break. Cup race off, it's all kicking off here. Australia flying high.
They're dominating right now. I think it has to be tactical territory for Team Denmark.
Yeah, well, we could find out what's going on. Let's go down to the pits now and catch up with the Australia team manager, Mark Lemons, with Nat.
Well, Mark, we can see Max is in quite a bit of discomfort. What is he telling you, and thoughts on perhaps, are we going to see him racing again tonight?
Yeah, pretty fast track to get off. He's landed on his shoulder quite hard, so probably an AC injury. He wanted to race, but really, at least I didn't feel it was quite right. He didn't look right to me, and then the doctor agreed. So he's been stood down by the doctor. Tomorrow's a different. We reveal it tomorrow, but obviously, thank goodness for the new rule that I criticised so much. But with the under-21s, but no, obviously Brady gets his chance now, and he rode a pretty good race.
A big blow though to have Max out, who's a track specialist here now, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean he's our little trump card, to be quite honest. He's been dominating in Europe and really riding above his years of experience. And a real credit to him. It's such a shame that this has happened, but that's Speedway, and he's so disappointed. But he's got a big career, and tomorrow's a new day. So we've still got a job to do. We're pushing on nicely. It's been fantastic. We've had such great help from a lot of people, so we've got to make that final. So the people that donated to the GoFundMe, great. Alan Headley and Lisa Headley from Sapphire Engineering stepped in and sponsored us, and that's a big, huge relief to our budget. So we've got to do it for them.
And taking the positives, you're ahead by 8 points.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. We just got to push on though, because obviously I would never sort of rest on our laurels just here. Denmark, quality, and even Russia, So, but these boys are up for it. They mean it. They want gold.
Thanks, Mark.
Awesome.
Well, really interesting to hear Mark Lemon talking very positively about tomorrow. So in his head, he's already thinking, right, we're in. Miserable, of course, for Max Frick, but didn't Brady Kurtz do well to come in and get those 2 points under such pressure?
Oh, fantastic. He's such a young lad too, and it's a huge stage to come into. Track conditions are a little bit tricky, and he had to come in with no practice yesterday. It was a fantastic performance.
Yeah, it really was, and up against Niels Christian Iversen, who tonight is just on fire, isn't he?
Oh, he's absolutely flying. He just broke the track record again and knocked a massive chunk off her, but you can see here Brady Kurtz in the white, Niels Christian Iversen, that was a brave first turn. Gate 4 came to life for him there in the blue. He really had to force the issue. Brady Kurtz in the white was doing everything to stop him, but Niels Christian Iversen from there was gone. But Brady Kurtz in second, rode it well, but you just watch Niels Christian Iversen here. He's keeping his wheels in line. He's really attacking the track, and I think that's what the big difference is. You see some of the riders a little bit hesitant going into the corners, and that's where they're losing a lot of time on the track.
I was going to ask you why. I mean, clearly, Niels is gating well, but this track seems to suit him. Why do you think that is?
It does. He's right on the edge of that dirt line. He's keeping his wheels in line, but he's really attacking the track. He's not backing off coming in. You can see some of the riders where you watch, they're just rolling off the throttle a little bit coming in. Every lap they do that makes a big difference. Track conditions like this, you have to attack it, but that's difficult. That's a confidence thing for definite.
And you wouldn't be surprised maybe if he came out as the Joker?
I think he has to in the next
stage,
one.
Aren't they?
Yeah, he'll be off gate 1. It's not an easy race, but it's an easier race. Kenneth Pierre looks a little bit out of sorts, so to try and get them, they have to get back in the game right now.
And what do you think of the way that Australia look? Because they seem so defiant tonight, don't they?
They do. They look very dominant. They look very comfortable. They're working well as a team. They all look quick. Sam Masters, he struggled a little bit on Tuesday night, but he's riding great.
Yeah, he really is. And also Chris Holder seems to be really holding it together tonight for the team, because he had a little bit of a dip last time out.
Yeah, he did. It's, it's somewhere like tonight. Engines are key. He's had a little bit of troubles, but he looks on form tonight and he's going well.
Just looking down on the track, I can see there are a couple of jokers there being paid. Let's get the boys to explain what's going on. Here's Kelvin and Nigel.
Right, let's take a look at the joker situation for you. Okay, so Niels Christian Iversen is the tactical substitute and the joker off the inside gate, but the Russians have done it as well. They've gone for Emil Sayfutdinov for Artem Laguta. So any points that the jokers score, i.e. Iversen and Sayfutdinov, then they will count for double. But really, the way Iversen has been going, Denmark need a maximum 6-point return here to really get back into the path of Australia.
And I can understand them doing it. The inside gate just after a freshly prepared track. The professor, Hans Nielsen there, has played his card, and he'll be keeping his fingers crossed that it works to full effect. Brady Kurtz is the inexperienced under-21 rider coming in here for Australia out of gate 3, and he'll be hoping, Hans Nielsen that is, that his man, Iversen, who's unbeaten so far, can pick up a vital 6 points. They need to do it. They need to put pressure on the Australians.
Big race coming up. Can Iversen do it off the inside gate? Can he make it 3 rides to 3 wins? Oh, bit of movement. Brady Kurtz on gate number 3 and wide, and the red lights are on.
No
and they're going to have to come back.
No surprise there. Froschower, the referee, puts the red lights on pretty much straight away. There was movement.
That's 3 heats of the 9 that have now had to be pulled back for an unsatisfactory
It's
start.
an indication of how important the night is. We'll see it again. Kurtz was very lucky. He didn't touch the tapes there. Must have got very close indeed with his front tyre. Watch it again. Yeah, moves too early. And the red lights come on immediately. But he's under 21. This is a huge night with 2 jokers with such world-class riders underneath him. He'll be fully aware of that. And certainly they're a warning, yeah. And that's obvious, really, because he did clearly move before the other riders. But this is where, you know, some composure at this level. And for an under-21 rider with Saifutinov and Iversen, with so much more experience, going for double points, this is a tough ask here, and management now need just to calm him down.
Yeah, he's got a job to do. He's the under-21 reserve. He's come into the side now at the expense of the injured Max Frick, and they need him to do a job here. And I can confirm that Phil Morris, who is the race director of the Speedway World Cup and the Speedway Grand Prix, Phil Morris went across and had a word in his ear to just say to him that you are under a warning now. You have to sit still at the start.
Yeah, and you know, if he does that again, effectively that will mean he will be excluded, even if he doesn't touch the tapes with his front tyre. If he jumps and then creates a situation where there's a restart, almost certainly he'll be excluded. So he's under extra pressure now. Iversen there just having his final check with his equipment. Robbie Kessler, his mechanic, just giving him a pat on the back, and he's making his way round for heat number 9.
Looks really quick tonight, Iversen, doesn't he? He goes off the inside gate here for Denmark. Emil Saifutinov, gate number 2 for Russia. Brady Kurtz for Australia, gate 3. Some 8 points up on Denmark now. And Luke Becker going off the outside for the USA. So even if Niels Christian Iversen was to win the race, get 6 points, and say Kurtz finished 3rd, that'll be a 5-point swing. Still, with Denmark having used their joker, Australia would be in a good position, Kel.
Yeah, it is, and you're absolutely correct. Saifutinov may do them a favour, of course, if Saifutinov can hit the front and just reduce the tally to 4 points for Iversen. That could be interesting, but vital for Iversen to win now, really, for Denmark.
Here we go, heat number 9. It's a great start for Saifutinov off the second gate, and now Kurtz on the inside. Where did Brady Kurtz find that from? The under-21 for Australia, holding second spot, and now here comes Luke Becker of the USA. Becker's coming through! Luke Becker, what a performance from the youngster in the yellow helmet. He's gone to the back now, but the lead is with Saifutinov. Second is Iversen, and third is Brady Kurtz, who's doing a good job, because he would only really settle for 3rd here, with Denmark getting 4 points.
Fabulous start from Saifutinov out of gate 2, roared to the front, and Iversen missed it. Certainly opening lap there, all sorts of fireworks going on, with Kurtz coming through in the second place, and Luke Becker there momentarily getting his name in lights. But Saifutinov, once he hits the front, he's an awfully hard man to pick back. Iversen trying overtime, but the Russian is going to pick up his first win of the night.
He's hugely popular, Emil Saifutinov, make no mistake about that. The fans showing their appreciation for him there. It's a good ride for Saifutinov for 6 points for Russia. That puts them on to 16. It's 4 points for Team Denmark there. That puts them on to 17. A vital point for Australia, though, from Brady Kurtz onto 22, and that means they are still 5 clear of Denmark, and Denmark have used the joker. So Australia still in a terrific position here. Saifutinov the winner, 6 points for him. Niels Christian Iversen second, 4 for him, because they double up as a joker. And Brady Kurtz gets a point for Team Australia. Look at this now. Australia 22, Denmark 17, Russia 16 and the USA 3. Luke Becker was on the pace there early on. Goodness me.
Where did he come from? He came charging round the outside and momentarily got himself into second place. Emil Saifutinov finally gets himself away from the tapes. He moved right across on gate 2, gave him that little bit of extra room. He dropped the clutch, bang on, and made a great effort. Hits the front, wins the race, picks up a really useful 6 points. Niels Christian Iversen there will be gutted. There you saw that move from Brady Kirks and Luke Becker from America, making the captain of Denmark have to work awfully hard. They opened the door and Iversen was able to find his way through as they start the second lap up the inside into second place, with Luke Becker very nearly dropping it. But that man out in front, you've got to say he certainly produced a super ride when he needed it, and it made it hard work for Denmark, and the chances and opportunities for Denmark, oh well, they may just be running out because the Australians this evening are really dominating proceedings.
They are indeed. We're up to heat number 10, the halfway point of this World Cup race-off here. Who will join Great Britain, Poland and Sweden in the World Cup final. Great to have World Cup Speedway in the city of Manchester over these next couple of nights. And what an addition the Belle Vue Sports Village has been for the city of Manchester as well. Billy Gennaro off the inside in yellow for the USA. Michael Jepsen Jensen for Denmark. The unbeaten Sam Masters for Australia. Andrei Kudryashov for Russia. This is heat number 10. Can Masters keep his unbeaten run going? Can Jepsen Jensen beat him to the post here? Heat number 10.
He needs to, because Denmark are under a lot of pressure so far. The Australians are in dominant mood.
They are indeed. Jepsen Jensen has dropped the clutch first there. That's a great start for him. Gennaro holding second spot. Oh, Billy Gennaro almost completely loses it there. Jepsen Jensen has the lead and Masters comes up the inside of Billy Gennaro now. The man at the back here is the Russian Andrei Kudryashov. Jepsen Jensen with the lead though. This would score another point back for Denmark. This would put them 4 points behind Team Australia.
This is what they need to do. They need to keep pegging the way, because the Joker didn't really work to full effect. And Michael Jepsen Jensen is riding very nicely here. Only Sam Masters was balked there, because when Gennaro lifted, he came off the throttle. And at this high-speed track, once you lose momentum and you allow a rider to get away, it's evident here that it's clearly demonstrated with Jepsen Jensen. He is dominating proceedings. This is what Denmark need, Nigel. They've got to keep chipping away at Australia.
Yep, here is Michael Jepsen Jensen for Denmark. Another vital win for him. He's riding beautifully tonight. Sam Masters was second there. Third in yellow, Billy Gennaro, who's really riding hard for the USA tonight. But the win for Denmark with Michael Jepsen Jensen brings them to within 4 points of Australia now, with 10 heats to go. So can Denmark take it all the way here? They've already used their Joker ride, so they can't go for double points again in this meeting. And heat 11, it's Saifutinov, Iversen and Doyle. Goodness me.
Wow.
What a line on heat number 11 is coming up. Jepsen Jensen, Masters, Gennaro and Kudryashov. The overall totals now look like this. Australia 22, Denmark 17. Sorry, Australia 24, Denmark 20, Russia 16 and the USA 4. And the news from the pits is that Max Frick has withdrawn from the meeting due to that injury.
Yeah.
Has to be said, Kel, the racing's not brilliant, is it?
No.
Not a lot of passing so far.
It's almost too good, the track, and with such an even spread of grip on it, difficult to make any real racing moves and make some extra speed. We saw Michael Jepsen Jensen here. This is his second win on the night, and he made an excellent move away from the tapes. Billy Gennaro, I've got to say, is certainly putting himself about and is more competitive tonight, but lifting violently coming out of the first corner.
Cool.
That actually just killed the momentum from Sam Masters. Indeed, Nigel, because it could have got quite wild there coming out of turn 2. But that man in front, Jepsen Jensen, is riding well for his country, and he punches, and he knew how important that was. And they're 4 points back. They're not out of this, and they've got to work hard now, the Danes. And this race, when we see the lineup, is very tasty indeed.
What a lineup it is, heat number 11. This is only a race-off. And it's Niels Christian Iversen off the inside for Denmark. Jason Doyle off 2 for Australia. Doyle, a man so far unbeaten on 6 points. Emil Saifutinov for Russia off 3. And Ryan Fisher for the USA going off the outside. Iversen a late arrival. just about making his way to the start line now.
Yeah.
And he's just going to make it in the nick of time under the 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's there, and he'll be smarting a little bit after dropping points as a joker. He got 4 points, finishing second, and he would have dearly liked to have been out in front. Doyle will be a tough man to beat, and Sayfutdinov coming out of gate 3 was majestic last time when he came away from gate 2. This is a genuine world-class ride here, no doubt about that. Everson on the inside needs to beat Doyle here.
Heat number 11 it is. Take time, Doyle has made an absolute beauty there, and the referee has let him go. He dropped the clutch quickly, too quickly almost, and he's got that lead now. Second place in blue here is Niels Christian Everson for Denmark. Third in yellow is Ryan Fisher, but Emil Sayfutdinov now is going to come through into third. But Kelvin, what a start for Jason Doyle that was.
Fabulous start from Doyle, dropped the clutch, bang on. We'll have to look at it again, maybe a touch early. Look at Doyle go, right round the outside. Everson's the new track record holder, but Doyle, he is flying out in front. This time Sayfutdinov misses the start and he's tailed off. Back in third place, but the Australians are responding here. Doyle is in dominant form tonight. A lap to go for the Australians.
Well, absolutely. Doyle has got super quick machinery tonight. We'll have to take a look at the start again there, because he did make it super quick, but the question is, did he gamble? Well, if he did, it paid off. A wonderful ride from Jason Doyle for Australia. Second place, Niels Christian Everson. Third was Emil Sayfutdinov there. And is there anybody to stop that man, Jason Doyle, tonight? He moves his side on to 27 points, and they're now 5 clear of Denmark with 9 races to go. It's looking good for Australia, it has to be said. 11 races gone now, and here's the result of that heat number 11. Doyle, Everson, Sayfutdinov and Fisher. And the overall standings now after 11 heats, with Australia leading the way on 27 points now with that win from Doyle. Denmark 22, Russia 17, and the USA have 4. It looks like a straight shootout between Australia and Denmark from here.
Yeah, it is, and we thought that Russia may well play their part. They've tried hard, but conditions have been tough for them. Jason Doyle, certainly his British experience is coming to the fore. Super start from Doyle. We can't really see if he jumped it from the head on. We need to see it side on, and then we'll have a much better idea. Here we see it again. Now that's a great start from Doyle. He doesn't jump it, he gets the better of Everson, and he is dominant out in front. Brilliant stuff from the Aussie. He's unbeaten so far. What a start it is from Doyle. He'll be really pleased with that. He's unbeaten and he's looking terrific. Everson there just can do nothing about him. He gives chase. Crikey, he tries overtime back in second place, but he just cannot get the better of Jason Doyle. Yeah, we see it early doors with Sayfutdinov and Ryan Fisher having a real ding-dong for third place, with Sayfutdinov coming up the inside and gets third place. But Jason Doyle and Australia, they really mean business tonight. The conditions are suiting them, and there's no question the strength and depth of Australia, the quality they have, is playing big dividends tonight.
And they've got the 2012 world champion in this one. Chris
Exactly,
Holder.
sums it up.
But he's off gate 3. Let's see how he gets on from here. Brock Nickel goes off the inside in yellow for the USA. He'll be benefiting from the experience, and I'm sure his dad, Doug Nickel, will be proud as punch to see his side here. Leon Madsen off 2, Chris Holder off 3, and Grigory Laguta going off the outside in heat 12.
I do hope it's advantageous for the young Americans. This is probably a step too much for them in truth. Yes, the whole experience of coming to Europe, watching the World Cup, yeah, but ordinarily these guys are not quite ready for World Championship Speedway. Premier League possibly, yes, but certainly they'll be going home thinking, well, crikey, it's tough in Europe, that's for sure.
Here we go with heat number 12. After this, every nation will have had 3 rounds of rides, and it's Holder who's made the start superbly. Can Leon Madsen do something here? Oh, the Russian charges through Grigory Laguta. He's made of stern stuff. Chris Holder has the lead now in white. Grigory Laguta is second. Third in blue is Leon Madsen. But the battle is on here with Laguta. Now Holder is going to go wide. Holder looking to keep it wound on.
Laguta comes steaming up the inside. He was excluded first time out. He's beginning to find it out. He's beginning to figure out the conditions, and that was a very clever ride from the Russian to get the better of the former world champion. Madsen back in third place. Young Dick Nickel out the back. But Grigory Laguta coming in after that hand injury. A lap to go. He's going to win his first race.
Yeah, that was a brave move from Grigory Laguta. Second place, Chris Holder of Australia. Third in blue is Leon Madsen. Australia are going to build up a 6-point lead after this one now. Laguta wins it for Russia. Great ride it was. It was a real tough old challenge there from Grigory Laguta of Russia. And crucially, Chris Holder edges out Leon Madsen there. And once again, Australia doing their job. They're on 29 now to Denmark's 23. And we have 8 heats to go. So it's looking good for Australia. 12 heats gone now. Here's the result of Heat 12. Laguta for Russia, Holder, Madsen and Nicol. And now we see Australia on 29 points. We see Denmark on 23, Russia on 20, and the USA on 4.
So 6 points the difference now, with Australia holding strong, but of course the joker has already been played by Denmark. Still all to play for. Join us after the break.
Okay, Benny, remember the plan?
Welcome back. 8 heats to go in this World Cup race-off analysis in a moment, but plenty of motorsport coming up on BT Sport. It's round 8 of the World Rally Championship, with Finland playing host this weekend. BT Sport will have highlights following each day of the event. Plus, on Sunday, the Power Stage will be live from 11 o'clock on BT Sport 1. And there's more live motorsport too, as the IndyCar Roadshow rolls into mid-Ohio. Coverage of round 12 of the IndyCar Series gets underway on Sunday evening at 7:30 over on ESPN. Well, what a night this is turning out to be. The commentators there talking about, Scott, lack of overtaking, but it doesn't actually mean that the heats are any less exciting in some ways, because there's so much going on and so many changes. Let's go back to Heat 9, which was our joker heat, and we thought that Denmark would come out and play their joker, which they duly did. But that was the one that Niels Christian Iversen really needed to win, and it didn't work out.
He didn't, and he was off gate 1. We really expected him to make it from there, but Russia played their tactical one there too with Emil Sayfutdinov, and he did the business off gate 2. Niels Christian Iversen got balked in the first turn. He did well to get back up into second, but we'd questioned why Russia were playing that.
Exactly.
But when you looked at the gate positions later on, they had gate 3 and gate 4 twice, so they had to play their joker there. It paid off for them, but Australia still hold that lead.
And how secretive is that, you know, in terms of the team managers knowing when the jokers are being played? Would Denmark have known that Russia were going to do that? And if they did, would that have affected their decision?
No, I think it's they would have known what's going on, but Denmark had to play that then. They had to put Iversen. No, they had to put Iversen. They had to put him off 1. Sadly for them, he didn't capitalise totally, but no, I mean, it was the same position for Russia. They had to make that move then. They've got 1 block left. They can do a tactical ride. They can't play the joker, but to me, Australia look quite dominant right now.
Yeah, and Iversen was second best again, because he'd been going so well. Heat 11, which was a battle of the heavyweights, really, wasn't it?
It certainly was, and Jason Doyle there off gate 2 made an absolute flyer of a start. There was questions whether he'd jump. He didn't. It was just an absolutely perfect start. See Jason Doyle there in the white. He's a bike length clear going into the turn, and the commentary is saying about the racing, what's so difficult is because there's so much grip on the outside that once a rider who's got a quick bike gets there, it's difficult for somebody else to make a move from behind.
Yeah, I think we can go down to the pits now, and Steve Brandon is with the American captain. We can hear from Billy Gennaro.
Billy, we know Greg's not here, but for the 2 young guys in the pits alongside yourself and Ryan, what a great experience.
Heck of an experience, you know. These are world-class guys out here, and they got thrown in the deep end, and you know, they're holding their own. You know, they might not be setting the world on fire, but they're having fun.
9 years is a long time for you to have not ridden in a World Cup. The boys are not going any slower these days, are they?
Definitely not. You know, you got to make them starts, and you got to be out there. So we're trying our hardest, and we're having fun.
Having fun, but would we ever see Billy Gennaro back full-time in European Speedway?
N-O.
All right, nothing for that. But you see these guys firsthand, week in, week out, meeting in, meeting out in America. There's some great young talent coming through.
Yeah, we got a bunch of guys back home. You know, there's probably 6 guys that are not quite ready for coming over here, but give them a couple more years, you know, racing me back home, and they just get that one step above, and you know, it'll probably be another 2-3 years before you see, you know, some excitement out of America.
Tough start, but good for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Some great chat there, Billy Gennaro, a former teammate of yours, of course, with Coventry Bees, a great character.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he could have been a little bit clearer whether he was going to race again, couldn't he, really? But, no, he's fantastic. I mean, he's a fantastic rider. I mean, you saw in that first
Giving
term,
it everything.
he just muscled the bike around. I mean, he's more built for big WWF wrestling, but no, the guys, I mean, it's invaluable experience for those young kids. They're not ready for this level. But, you know, they have to gain the experience somewhere, and, I mean, there's no better stage than to be out here right now.
Instead of being dropped in at the deep end, but almost dropped in at deep end with shark circling as well, really, isn't it? Because Speedway is so different in America to here.
It is. I mean, for the viewers at home, I mean, you know, the tracks in America, you could fit on the infield of here. They're so tiny, so for those boys to come here, they didn't have any practice, so these guys have just gone straight onto this track, which is totally alien for them. So, you know, in the first race, I mean, I was very impressed with the way they actually went round. They were a bit off the pace, but it's such a contrast for them.
And I suppose on those smaller tracks, it's more about tactics and turning in, because you don't ever have the time to get up to speed, do you?
Yeah, definitely. And the gating is crucial. I mean, for the guys in America, they're used to literally letting the clutch go, and as soon as they let the clutch go, they turn the bike. Whereas here, you let the clutch go, then you have to try and work the bike to the first corner. Then when you get to the corner, you let the bike run. In America, they're trying to turn the bike inside out, so it's totally different.
And just a quick one on Doyle's clutch here. He didn't go too soon, he anticipated.
No, he didn't. No, it's just a spot-on start.
Okay, excellent. So more to come then. We've still got 8 heats to go today. Australia leading the way. Here's the commentary boys.
So riders coming out for heat number 13 then. And Andrei Kudryashov is the man for Russia as we see the current standings. Australia 29, Denmark 23, Russia 20, and the USA have 4. That is how it is right now. Looking good for Australia. And as long as people like Jason Doyle and Chris Holder can keep winning races, and Sam Masters has ridden quite beautifully tonight, then they don't need to do a lot more really just to get over the line from here, you feel, Cal?
No, they don't, but the best way to keep going really is to maintain focus and keep winning races. That enables you to just to keep everybody behind you. So it's a good start from Australia. They've maintained their form so far. With Holder out here, former world champion, they're looking good.
Heat number 13, a tactical substitute with Grigory Laguta coming in red here for Russia. So it's Ryan Fisher off the inside for the USA, Kenneth Pierre off gate number 2 for Denmark, Grigory Laguta gate 3 for Russia, and off the outside in white is Chris Holder. And the Americans are using the joker here. Ryan Fisher is going to go for double points for the USA here. It's all a consolation, but yeah, you know, they have acquitted themselves. We have seen Becker get in a good position. Gennaro's been picking up points, Fisher as well.
Well, Gennaro definitely has improved this evening, there's no question about that. And they may as well use the joker, because after heat 16 you can no longer use it, so no harm in doing that. Grigory Laguta coming in as a tax sub here for Russia. Andrei Kudryashov is certainly finding it tough, and Laguta was spectacular when he beat Holder last time out, so revenge mission for Chris Holder here.
Yep, here we go. It's a good start for Kenneth Pierre on 2, but the joker is there, and that's Ryan Fisher. Now here comes Kenneth Pierre through, taking the lead here for Team Denmark. Ryan Fisher holds second, Chris Holder is third. Holder's holding the inside run here. Can he get the better of Ryan Fisher, who the American just chomps the front away there? And Kenneth Pierre, this is much more like it for the Dane.
He needed this, didn't he, Nigel, because he's struggled so far this evening. Grigory Laguta has pulled up out the back, and that's disappointment for him. Ryan Fisher on the joker is riding completely well and is going to score 4 points. And Holder coming from the outside is having all sorts of trouble, so this is a big bonus here. Could this be a little bit of a revival for Denmark? Kenneth Pierre getting back to winning ways, under a lap to go. Holder back in third place is working out for Denmark in this race.
Yeah, it certainly is. Denmark are going to claw back 2 points on Australia here. Holder now is trying the wide run to try and get round Fisher. Fisher's got loads of experience and hangs on. And there is, it has to be said, a real difficulty, it seems, in this meeting for these riders to make any passing moves. Certainly that rain that we had earlier has maybe played into some sort of conditions here this evening, but it is a lack of passing so far, which is a slight negative really on this World Cup race-off tonight. It's competitive, it's fast, but there is a lack of passing here. That is a slight disappointment, it must be said. Kenneth Pierre takes the victory. 3 points for Denmark and a vital 3 points. 4 points for Ryan Fisher in second. Chris Holder gets third. So these are the standings overall now. USA have just doubled their score. Australia 30, Denmark 26, Russia 20, USA 8. So Australia have a 4-point lead over Denmark here with 7 heats to go.
Yeah, a really good ride there from Kenneth Pierre. He's had a very disappointing night, and he makes a super start from gate 2. Gets the better of Ryan Fisher, who makes also a very good start from gate 1. He runs a little bit too wide, the American, and that allows Pierre to switch back to the inside, but Holder is then trapped back in third place and can do nothing about Ryan Fisher. The track is almost too good, and as a consequence of that we are seeing overtaking at an absolute premium tonight, and I'm sure that will improve tomorrow. But as a consequence of rain, heavy rain earlier today with lots of grip on the track, it has made preparation a little bit difficult. But I'll tell you what, Kenneth Pierre won't be worrying about that at the moment. He'll be chuffed to bits that he's won a race. 4 points up, 9 races to go. Still opportunities for Denmark to get their way back in this meeting.
Brock Nichol's got bike problems here. He's got made his way back to the pits area. One bike has packed up. Great ride from Kenneth Pierre. Yeah, much needed. His brother Lasse Pierre is there alongside him. That's Hans Andersen talking to him in vision right now. And we are awaiting the arrival of Brock Nicol, who has gone back to the pits with bike problems, but it does seem as though he's on his way out. Will he make the 2 minutes? It looks like it. Artem Laguta then for Russia. Brock Nicol gate 2. Gate 3 is Jason Doyle, unbeaten so far, and Michael Jepsen Jensen is off the outside. That race in heat 13 from Kenneth Pierre has put Denmark right back in contention.
Yeah, really good result for Denmark, that. And they'll be looking to build on it now with Jepsen Jensen, but Doyle has been unbeatable so far. What a start from Doyle!
Doyle again with a Jeff Bell getaway. He cannot make any better starts than this, and he blasts his way clear. Now Jepsen Jensen comes around the outside of Artem Laguta of Russia, but Jason Doyle is riding beautifully here. It's looking like he's going to make it 4 wins from 4 rides, and this will open up another point gap for Australia and put them back 5 clear with 6 heats to go.
Yeah, fair play to Australia. Every time Denmark just begins to put them under a little bit more pressure, they respond, and Jason Doyle has been the man for that task, hasn't he, tonight? He really has made dynamite starts, and he's riding beautifully once again out in front. There's a lap to go, and Jepsen Jensen is under a little bit of pressure from Artem Laguta, and really, in truth, the Australians once again are just showing that little bit more class this evening.
Yep, Jason Doyle riding magnificently for Team Australia. He makes it 4 wins from 4 rides. Super ride from Jason Doyle. He makes it look so easy. Again, it's not exciting to watch, particularly when it's all from the gate. But Australia won't mind that when you see Jason Doyle riding superbly. And if they are going to make the final, they're going to need him riding like that tomorrow night. A reminder: Great Britain, Poland, and Sweden are the finalists so far. Will Australia join them? Doyle, Jepsen Jensen, Laguta and Nicol. And this is what it means overall after 14 heats now. It means that the Australians are on 33, Denmark are on 28, Russia are on 21, and the USA are on 8. And therefore Australia enjoy a 5-point cushion right now with 6 heats to go.
Leon Madsen is coming out for this next race, so no changes there for Denmark. They're going to stick with the original plan. Saifudanov is out here, but Jason Doyle was majestic once again. A good effort early on by Artem Laguta, but Jepsen Jensen has the extra speed. This is actually my 4th visit here And I've got to say that in the first 3 visits, the racing has been sensational here. As a consequence of weather, extra grip, we are seeing some quite processional racing. I've got the feeling tomorrow could be very different with a very fine forecast. Jason Doyle won't give a damn about that because he is winning races for fun. He's making great starts and has got plenty of speed. So he's doing a fine job for his country. And Australia at this stage, with heats running out, are looking favourites to go through to tomorrow's World Cup final.
Yeah, Doyle is a man of the moment, isn't he, as far as Australia are concerned. And in the Grand Prix Series, 3rd place right now. Here we see Brady Kurtz coming in here for Max Frick, the under-21 reserve. Brady Kurtz replacing the injured Max Frick. Emil Sayfutinov goes off 2 for Russia. Billy Gennaro for the USA going off gate 3 in yellow. And going off the outside is Leon Madsen. That's the way heat number 15 is shaping up. Hans Nielsen, the coach of Denmark, did hint that he may have made a change and pulled Madsen out of this race, but he's kept him in.
He has, and he'll be hoping that Leon Madsen can produce a ride like Pierre did in his previous one. Leon Madsen has been pretty steady in truth. He's just picked up 3 third places. It won't be easy because he's going from the outside gate, and Sayfutinov and Kurtz on the inside 2 gates. That presents a problem for Leon Madsen.
Does indeed. Here we go then. This is heat number 15 and Sayfutinov has got there for Russia. Charging hard around the outside. Leon Madsen for Denmark. Oh, and Kurtz nearly loses it completely. But right now it's Emil Sayfutinov of Russia. 2nd place Leon Madsen. 3rd is Brady Kurtz. The man in the back is Billy Gennaro of the USA. But this is Sayfutinov at his very best. And Madsen has found some speed finally.
Well, maybe they've been given a bit of a kick up the backside because certainly both Leon Madsen and Kenneth Pierre have picked up the pace. But when you've got such a quality rider like Sayfutinov, you know, he's a tough man to beat, and he came away from the tapes in dominating proceedings. Kurtz lifted violently on the opening lap and he's detached back in 3rd place. The Danes will just reduce the lead of Australia by a solitary point once again. Is that enough? Time will tell, but Sayfutinov in front. Well, he's demonstrating his skills once again by winning races.
Yeah, looks like Russia are going to bow out tonight, but we will see Sayfutinov in one more race before his World Cup campaign comes to an end. He is, of course, riding in European series throughout the continent, but let's hope that we see him back in the Grand Prix series in the not-too-distant future. He would be a wonderful, wonderful addition to the Speedway Grand Prix. Let's hope that happens maybe next year. If not the year after. That's what we want to see. He's getting a standing ovation from the main stand here at Belle Vue. Very, very popular wherever he goes, Emil Sayfutinov.
Absolutely. Such a shame that we don't see him in the Grand Prix Series now. He has had some injury problems, but fundamentally focuses on the European Championship. But back in the World Cup, his 2 performances so far have been outstanding.
Yeah, win for Sayfutinov. Superb effort there. And it means now that this is the total with 5 heats to go. Australia 34, Denmark 30, Russia 24, and the USA have 8. It's between Australia and Denmark. Who's going to make the final tomorrow?
Yeah.
Australia in the box seat right now.
Yeah, they've been in front right from the word go, and in truth they have had the upper hand every time. Denmark have just begun to throw some pressure at them. Kurtz, they're just lifting. That really put paid to his chances. And Leon Madsen was much quicker this time. He looked much more competitive. In actual fact, put pressure on Sayfutinov early in the race. You can see all that grip out there. Once you get your back tyre on the edge of that, in truth, if you hang onto the motorbike, you'll generate a lot of speed. And Sayfutinov does that. He does it very well, and he picks up another race win. We've spoken about him. He's had 2 race wins and 2nds and 3rds tonight. Pretty solid performance. But in truth, I think Russia will be slightly disappointed with their performance tonight.
Well, looking here, heat number 16, Denmark have their strongest rider out here in Niels Christian Iversen. Sam Masters is the Australian rider off the outside gate. So that'll be fascinating to watch. Confirmation of the lineup. Grigory Laguta for Russia off the inside in red. Luke Becker for the USA, gate 2 in yellow. Significant that Lance King has left his riders in. He's not replaced them with tactical moves because he wants to give the youngsters their full quota of races. Niels Christian Iversen, gate 3 in blue, and Sam Masters going off the outside in white.
I agree with Lance King in that scenario. He needs to give them every opportunity to race here this evening. Interesting lineup. Laguta has been pretty good, although he pulled up last time. I'm not quite sure what was wrong with him, but he retired out of the race. Big race this. If Denmark can keep pegging away, they'll close that gap once again.
Here we go, it's a massive heat number 16. Who's going to get there? It's a great start for Everson. Now Masters tries the inside run. Now Everson round the outside. It's a wonderful move. And Masters is relegated to third. This would halve Australia's lead. This would mean that Australia would be 2 points clear with 4 races to go. And it's game on in a World Cup race-off.
Yeah, it's suddenly bursting into life, this meeting, isn't it? Gregory Laguta doing the Danish team a massive favour. Sam Masters from the outside just couldn't quite get there. Everson from day 3, he's cleared off out in front. And Gregory Laguta in front of Sam Masters. Well, that really is putting the cat amongst the pigeons. Everson's been brilliant tonight. He's going to win the race. Can Masters do anything about the Russians? Second place.
Yeah, this is good for Denmark. This is very, very good for Denmark. Niels Christian Everson is going to take the victory. A very quick ride and a third win for Niels Christian Everson, and Sam Masters looks frustrated as he bows his head as he goes over the line. He knows that could be costly. It's going to go down to the wire. We now have 4 heats to decide who is going through to the World Cup final. Because right now, Australia have 35 and Denmark have 33.
Whoa.
It's game very much on.
It is indeed, and Everson has done his team proud tonight. He's had 3 wins and 2 second places. One as a joker, of course. He picked up 4 points, so he's bounced back after a disappointing night in Voyens. 2 points in it, 4 heats to go, all to race for.
Australia now have 35, Denmark 33, Russia 26 and the USA have 8.
So the men from Down Under have been surfing the crest of the Doyle wave all night, but Denmark's Niels Christian Everson isn't having any of it. 2 points, now the difference. Come back for the decider. Back to the World Cup race-off, just 4 heats to go now and only 2 points in it between Denmark and Australia, with Australia still leading the way, but they've sort of sneakily closed down that gap, haven't they?
It has, and I think if Everson had totally capitalised, it would have been level right now because he would have had 6 points. So, yeah, it's so close. Right now it comes down to, obviously the riders have to earn their money on the track, but this is where the team managers have to be smart now. Mark Lemon will have last choice, so he'll be able to see where Denmark are playing there, so then he can almost play the chess game and try and counterbalance that.
Yeah, we can see that process going on now. Just tell us, tonight, did you expect a bit more from Russia? Because you said that they were your dark horses. It seems as though sometimes the dark horses are just too dark.
Definitely, I'm glad you picked up on that, because that was something that I was really expecting more from them. Laguta, Arta, Greg, that is, you know, he came good towards the end, but he's been hit or miss. I expected more from Arta. Emil has been good, but yeah, I really thought, I mean, they're not way out of contention, but it's definitely just between Australia
Yeah,
and
sort
Denmark
of the Russians
right
have been all about Saifutinov tonight, haven't they?
They have. He's been very good. You know, Russia and to a certain extent America, they've just been the spoilers. They've kind of really helped Team Denmark to come back into this competition right now. And yeah, so right now we're doing the draws. Kuryashov going up there. I mean, Russia, like I said, I think to be fair, they're out of the running now. It's too much for them to do. So I'll be interested to see where Hans Nielsen from Team Denmark plays his riders. I would be more inclined to kind of put Everson and maybe Jepsen Jensen out towards the end, because they seem to be the riders that are more on form for him. So the pressure will be on them, but they're the ones that have been on form to deliver.
What about Doyle? Would you put Doyle up against Everson? How would that work?
I think Mark Lem will have to look. I mean, those two have been the standout performers tonight.
Yeah, they really have.
Jason Doyle, his gating has been exceptionally good. Sort of what will swing in his favour is he will have the inside gate if he's put out last, whereas Niels Christian Iversen will have gate 3. But in this last block of races, there's been races won from all of the gates, so the gates have definitely evened up as the meeting has gone on.
Yeah, it shifted out as you would expect, I suppose. But the boys, Kelvin and Nigel, a little bit disappointed with the fact there's been no overtaking tonight. What do you put that down to?
I think it's because of the rain. It sounds almost a bit silly to say the track is too good, but it has produced almost too much grip, which has made it a little bit one line. You saw Emil in the race before was actually going into the turn with his back wheel in the dirt. That's impossible to pass somebody when they do that because there's physically no room for you to go round.
And it's not exciting to watch because you don't get those switchbacks and down the inside and round the outside, which we've been seeing throughout the World Cup, haven't we?
We have, and it's a shame, but the only good thing is that Mark Lemon, bless him, is really in a bit of a quandary right now as to where he goes. I mean, I'm not a team manager, clearly you can tell that, but I think I would be inclined to put Sam Masters, Brady Kurtz out early on to apply the pressure to Chris Holder and Jason Doyle. They're the more experienced riders, but just going back to the track, the positive is I think it will be better for tomorrow. It's had natural rain, it's the dirt will have mixed in, it'll have natural moisture in it, so that bodes well for tomorrow.
Hopefully it won't rain for tomorrow.
Well, we never know with Manchester too, but we cross our fingers.
Well, yeah, it'll be tomorrow by the time we get out, I think. That was a long decision process. So he's put Chris Holder there, so he's gone with Chris early.
So he's obviously listened to me then, has he? I just hope they got some money for the meter. The lights will go out soon, but no, it's important for Lemon. But like you say, it's I think he's quite comfortable. I mean, it's only 2 points. That's so close. I personally would put Doyle out at the end because he's the form man right now.
And what about Sam Masters? I just picked up the Sam Masters. I wonder whether he was going to go with him next. He's had an interesting night because he started so well and then kind of dropped off a little bit.
He has, and early on the track was more consistent. Right now it's really developed into one line on the outside. The first turns are crucial. You have to build up that speed and momentum in the first, and also with the rain, the dirt is really heavy, so the roof's when you're behind, it slows you down. Also, it really hurts. This is my home track, and I know when you're behind it, physically, it really, really hurts when you're behind. So you're doing your best to try and stay out the way over the dirt. So here we go. Heavy heat 20 with Jason Doyle going out. So he's listened to one of my predictions, I suppose.
Now, that's really interesting what you were saying, though, about the dirt and about this track in particular and how much it hurts.
It does. I mean, it's nearest I can describe it is standing and being shot with a BB gun at close range hundreds and hundreds of times. I mean, you have welt marks on you.
Because, we all know how that actually feels, don't we?
Don't try it at home, by the way. It's not a good idea, but it hurts.
Yeah, no, it must do. So now, take us to the mindset of the riders in the pits. So Australia 2 points ahead. At some points they've had a 6-point gap and a comfortable gap, and they clearly thought that they would, drift through. But now it's not that simple. 2 points, and the Danish are on it. Niels Christian Iversen is not giving up.
Definitely they are, and it's also, you only have to have a mechanical failure or a mistake. I think right now, focus, yes, winning, 100% no last places, but it is a two-man race. They have to focus on Team Denmark. Basically, if they finish in front of them, they're home dry. So they really need to be aware of where the Danish rider is in the first turn.
Does this come down to gating, do you think?
Sorry?
Will this come down to gating?
Definitely gating, but also first turns. I mean, this crucial first turn you see here, Brady Kurtz in the white almost got up the inside, but he couldn't quite get there. So the first turns are crucial. They've done a track right now, so they've brought the dirt back, but that was a brave move from Iversen on the first turn. He's done that twice now, and when he's got his wheels in line, he's just been quick. So I think either Iversen or Doyle gets in front. I don't think either of them will be passed.
But how much confidence will that give Iversen going into this? He's looked really strong tonight, but that was the heat that really made the difference.
Definitely. He muscled his way around the turn. He set the track record, so he knows he's quick. That's a massive part as well. You have to have the confidence in yourself, but also the confidence in your equipment as well. That on the start line, that makes a big difference for your focus of where you want to be in that.
But Jason Doyle has been gating like a scolded cat tonight.
Yes, it's unbelievable. I put down he's been gating like a demon because it's just his reaction times have been absolutely spot on, and the bikers drove all the way to the corner.
I think we can probably safely say that Jason Doyle tonight has been gating like a demon scolded cat. It's been really going his way.
Exceptional.
But exceptional to watch that kind of quality speedway as well. The final 4 heats then coming your way now. Here's Kelvin and Nigel.
So here we go with the final round of 4 heats here in Manchester to decide who is going to make it through to the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. It's a huge, huge phase of the meeting now. It's all down to these last 4 heats. As Steve Brandon mentioned down in the pits a few moments ago, the Australians were 6 points up. Now it's only 2. So if they were feeling comfortable, they'll be feeling a little bit nervous right now because it's all going
they're
down
not now, are
this
they?
final phase. Exactly.
It isn't, and it's certainly turned around, and Leon Madsen and Kenneth Pierre backed up by Iversen in the last round of heats, with Jepsen Jensen winning some races this evening. Suddenly they've got themselves right back in it, just 2 points in it. Team managers have made their decisions, the lineups are made, the decisions are done. Now it's down to the gladiators.
Heat number 17 it is, with Ryan Fisher for the USA off the inside. Then it's Chris Holder off gate number 2. How they need a champion performance from the former world champion. Artem Laguta gate 3 in red for Russia. And Leon Madsen is off gate number 4 for Denmark here. Big race. They're all big races from here on in. We're up to the last 4 heats here of the race-off of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. What a phase of the meeting. Hans Nielsen looking nicely relaxed. Maybe he's just using that as a bit of a cover because
I don't think he's relaxed. I don't think he's relaxed. He'll have some butterflies in his tummy right now. First time for him in a coaching role for the national team. Holder now. Can he stretch the lead for the Australians from gate 2?
Here we go. Holder's not made the best of start. That's gone to Artem Laguta. And now Holder is third. The man at the back, though, here is Leon Madsen. Now Holder is going to try the outside run and try and get the better of Ryan Fisher here. Holder's got the better of him now. Coming up the inside, Leon Madsen!
Where did he come from? Charged up the inside. Brilliant stuff from Laguta, but Leon Madsen, got to give him an awful lot of credit. He was out the back and the back straight. He came charging up the inside, and Holder was taken by surprise. Artem Laguta riding beautifully out in front, and Leon Madsen has turned his form around tonight.
Well, we can tell you that if it finishes level after 20 heats, we will have a run-off. 1 nominated rider per team. And right now, it looks as though Denmark are going to go within 1 point of Australia with 3 heats to go. The lead here is with Artem Laguta of Russia. Madsen having a go late on. But it does mean now that with Madsen going from last to second in a magnificent swoop ahead of Holder, Denmark are 1 point behind Australia with 3 races of the World Cup race-off to go.
Well, how things have turned around. Australia really have dominated this meeting for 2/3 of it. Artem Laguta comes up with a super ride. He'll be pleased with that. A little too late for them, though, unfortunately, but the dramatic scenes behind him. Leon Madsen coming charging up the inside to steal the points away from Chris Holder. Whoa, just 1 point in it. 3 heats to go.
And they look like this now. Australia 36, Denmark 35. Amazing here at Belle Vue. And with Russia on 29 and USA on 8 points. So how are your nerves if you are watching back in Australia right now in the early hours of the morning? Just 3 races to go. 3 races ago, Australia were 5 points clear. Now it's down to 1 point, and indeed after heat 12, 5 races ago, Australia had a 6-point lead.
But it was a smashing start from Artem Laguta. Chris Holder unfortunately dropped the clutch and the bike just spun up, and he didn't get the drive away from the tapes he was looking for. But here's the significant move. Holder's run very wide to get the better of Fisher. They've run too wide. They left the door wide open, and Leon Madsen stamps his authority on second place, charged into the picture. Hans Nielsen, of course, is chuffed a bit. Brilliant move from Madsen, who was really all out of sorts in his first 3 rides. Very nearly got to the front, in truth, Madsen. Great ride from Laguta, but the dramatic scenes between the 2 teams going for the World Cup final behind him. And suddenly Denmark on 35 points, Australia on 36. All the responsibility now for the Australians is on Sam Masters. You've got to say, his form in the last 2 rides, he has drifted away as he did on Tuesday. Got to dig deep now.
And he's off gate 3, and Michael Jepsen Jensen is off gate number 1. I just get this feeling, just get a feeling this could be the race where Denmark overturn it and take the lead here in Belle Vue tonight.
Could very well happen. It could well have just fallen right for them. You've got to have a little bit of good fortune at times. Gate positions tonight have played their part. Sam Masters, who has ridden pretty well, but you've got to say that he has faded a little bit with a second and a third after winning his first two heats. What a huge moment this is. Will this see the opportunity? It is an opportunity, a golden opportunity for Michael Jepsen Jensen to snatch the lead away from Australia.
Jepsen Jensen, the winner. The winner. I'm jumping ahead of myself there.
Yeah, he'll be pleased with that. He'll take
Jensen
it.
off the inside. Billy Gennaro off 2. Sam Masters off gate 3 in white, and Gregory Laguta off the outside. Don't rule out Gregory Laguta. Mark Lemon, the Australian team manager, tense, no doubt. Jason Doyle alongside him there.
Yeah.
Here in Belle Vue tonight. And Sam Masters needs to repeat the form that saw him opening the meeting with 2 straight wins, but since then has only got 3 from his last 2 rides.
That's exactly right, and he started like a house on fire. He made 2 perfect starts and subsequently found it more difficult. Needs to repeat it now. You're absolutely right. The danger man, the important man for Masters, needs to keep him behind him is Michael Jepsen Jensen in the blue helmet colour on the inside. Tense times now for the Australian teams. It was all going so well. Suddenly they're under huge pressure.
Here we go with heat number 18. Christian Frachard, the referee, with his finger on the button. The green light is on. Jepsen Jensen has made a great start. But Masters is going to go wide now. Can Masters get the drive down the back straight for Australia? What a move from Sam Masters. Jepsen Jensen holds second place right now for Team Denmark. And now battling through into third for the USA Gennaro with Laguta in the back. This is a terrific ride from Sam Masters of Australia.
We're seeing a rider come of age here. Masters, no question about it, under massive pressure. Made some fabulous start. He had the composure. He had the focus. Jepsen Jensen coming away from gate number 1, just couldn't quite get there. Gregory Laguta running into trouble on the opening lap, and he's out the back. What an important ride this could be for Australia. Masters out in front with under a lap to go. Riding beautifully out in front.
Yep, in the last lap here, Sam Masters looks over his shoulder. This could be a big result, but there's still 2 races to go. Australia are 2 points up on Denmark now. Second place Jepsen Jensen, down to the line Gennaro for the USA, and that is a huge ride for Sam Masters. Rides for the Wolverhampton Wolves in the Elite League here in the UK. Rides also for the Edinburgh Monarchs in the Premier League too. What a performance, just when his country needed it.
Absolutely, comes up trumps there. Probably the most important ride he's had in his short career so far. Massive pressure on the start line, still work to be done. The meeting with 2 races to go, with just 2 points between the top 2 teams. It could still go either way, but that may have just given Australia just a little bit of breathing space. Can't count it out, because we've got some big guns coming up in the next 2 races. Brilliant ride from Masters.
Masters from Jepsen Jensen in heat number 18. And Billy Gennaro got a point for the USA as well. So it's Australia 39, Denmark 37, Russia 29 and the USA 9. 2 heats to go, and in the next one it's Kenneth Bjerre off gate 2 for the Danish side here, and it's Brady Kurtz, the under-21 rider at reserve as an injury replacement for Max Frick, who has to go from the outside gate. Not easy.
Not easy at all. Brock Nickel is on gate 3 for America, so that may not present what may allow a little bit more racing room for the Australians. But Kenneth Bjerre, you've got to say, looked very impressive last time out. He had a disappointing evening with only 1 point from his first 3 outings, and then came up with a very important win. And Bjerre has done it before. He has the experience. He's a World Cup winner. He's a Grand Prix runner. In actual fact, he has led the World Championship in the past. Big smiles for Masters, but it's got to be tempered, because the work is not done yet for Australia.
It certainly isn't. They have Kudryashov here for Russia as well, who's only scored 3 points from 3 rides so far for Team Russia. This is the penultimate race of the night. Kurtz would settle, I'm sure, for second place behind Bjerre at worst case scenario, because that would still give Australia a 1 point advantage with 1 race to go. Kudryashov off the inside. Kenneth Bjerre off 2 in blue for Denmark. Brock Nickel gate 3 yellow for the USA. Brady Kurtz goes off gate 4 in white for Australia. Australia 39, Denmark 37. It's between those two. Australia's Mark Lemon watching on. 2 nations going for it, going for the final. Who will face Great Britain, Poland and Sweden here in Manchester tomorrow night?
Well, the meeting has livened up, hasn't it? It's been tough going, it's been difficult to overtake, and for large part of the meeting it's been Australia all the way. But suddenly, got to give Denmark an awful lot of credit. They have battled supremely hard and got themselves right back in the thick of the action. 2 points behind with 2 heats to go. Just wonder, difficult hindsight and sitting here watching it, a big hitter here for Australia, Doyle in particular, could have been the answer. Brady Kurtz on the outside, can he take care of Kenneth Bjerre?
He's number 19, takes rise, Bjerre's made a good one, but Kurtz Kudryashov in red. Now Bjerre's trying to get round the outside, it's vital now for Kurtz. Kurtz has to try and get the better of Kudryashov. If it stays like this, it'll be level going into the last heat.
Oh!
Get out of the way! I'm coming through!
Brilliant stuff from Brady Kurtz. Just up the inside, he knew how important that was. Great stuff from Kenneth Bjerre. Really showed a lot of composure on gate 2, made that start. Gate 4 didn't do the others any favours there. It's going to be very, very tight. Just a solitary point in it going into heat 20. Got to give Kenneth Bjerre a lot of credit, Nige. He has bounced back, looking like he's going to win 2 consecutive heats for his country.
This is a terrific ride from Kenneth Bjerre. He's been having a good season in Poland so far. This is what he's all about. We know he's a fast starter, and when he's out in front, he's hard to pass. It's Kenneth Bjerre for Denmark who takes the World Cup race off to a last heat decider. Australia lead it by 1 point here in Manchester with 1 race to go. How's your nerves now? Australia, Denmark. It is going down to 4 laps, maybe 8 laps. We may have a runoff. You never know. If Everson gets the better of Doyle in the last race by 1 place, then we will go down to a race-off in the race-off, a run-off in the race-off. You know what I'm saying? Bjerre, Kurtz, Kudryashov. And this is how it looks with 1 race to go in the Monster Energy FM Speedway World Cup race-off. Australia 41, Denmark 40, Russia 30, USA 9. 1 race to go. It's a straight shootout between Australia and Denmark for the place in tomorrow's final.
Well, it is, and it's going to be decision time in the first corner. Super stuff from Kenneth Bjerre. He's turned himself into he's gone from 0 to hero this evening, hasn't he? Because he really wasn't on the pace at all, and his last 2 rides he's come up with 2 vital wins, and certainly here in heat 19 rather, he comes up with a great ride. Tough move there from Kurtz, needed to do it. Couldn't afford the Kudryashov to hang around too long in second place. You see it there again, he comes charging up the inside, takes care of the Russian, but can do nothing about Kenneth Bjerre in front. Bjerre, 4 good laps, showed great composure, super start, closes in on the Australians. What a line-out it is for heat number 20. Saifutinov, Everson and Doyle. Doyle comes off the inside gate, with Everson off gate 3. Bjerre, of course, he's played his part, justified his pick right there, and this is tense moments. Mark Lemon, Hans Nielsen, the respective riders in those teams, they'll be biting their fingernails right now.
Very much so. TV viewers around the world watching Hans Nielsen looking fairly calm, but didn't really show a lot of emotion as a rider, Hans Nielsen. He was very poker-faced, wasn't he, in the build-up to crucial races, and he knows what run-offs are all about. He won some, he lost some in his career, lost world titles in run-offs a couple of times. Bradford in 85, I recall.
Yeah, he did.
So,
1-4 though.
Yeah, he did.
Made up for it.
Yeah, I'm glad you corrected me there and put that right. Heat number 20, a last heat decider in the World Cup final. It's Denmark who need to get the better of Jason Doyle and Australia here to take us either to a run-off or to beat them. And they have the small matter of Emil Saifutinov in between them. Jason Doyle off 1 in white for Australia. He wins the race, Australia go through. Simple as that. Emil Saifutinov, gate 2 red for Russia. Niels Christian Everson, gate 3 blue for Denmark. And going off the outside for the American side, it's Luke Becker, the 17-year-old. I wonder if Mark Lemon considered the gate position when going for Doyle off gate 1 in heat 20.
Oh, quite possibly, but well, it'll be interesting to see how it works out. I get the feeling Everson may have the possibility of a nice run round mid-track in the first corner and get the speed down the back straight and possibly get himself to the front, and from there it won't be difficult. It'll be very hard in truth for Doyle to then peg him back. Doyle's got to make a decision in the first corner. Is that
Does he go wide?
Yeah, but he's going to have to go up the banking and then square the corner off. So up, here we go.
Here we go, it's the last heat decider in the race-off here in Manchester. Doyle's made a great start off gate number 1. Now Everson's going to try the inside run. Doyle's gone wide, Doyle's got the lead. Here comes Saifutinov, Everson is third. Saifutinov is going to push Doyle every step of the way here, but Jason Doyle has the lead for Australia. Emil Saifutinov is second for Russia. Niels Christian Everson third for Denmark, and as it stands, Australia are coming back tomorrow night for the final.
What a start from Jason Doyle off the inside. Such composure, such focus, he absolutely nailed it. Going out of gate 1. Saifutinov is doing them a favour as well. Everson just could not quite get away from gate 3. What a night. He's going to go unbeaten, Jason Doyle, the only rider to do so. Fabulous performance from him.
Jason Doyle, who rides for the Swindon Robins here in the UK. He rides regularly in Poland and Sweden as well. He's going to be a maximum man for Australia. And it's Jason Doyle who leads the Australian side through to the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup final. And he couldn't do it any better than that with a full house.
Wow, what a tense night it's been at the end. Pretty straightforward early on, but Jason Doyle, what a hero he has been for his country tonight. He's made fabulous starts, and when he's hit the front, he's shown outstanding speed. All sorts of tension relief, I believe, also in that camp. There's no doubt about that. Denmark pushed them so very, very hard. You've got to give them a lot of credit. They came right back into it. But Doyle mastered the track tonight, the conditions, absolutely nailed the start in Heat 20. What a performance.
Here come the celebrations. Jason Doyle is a hero for Australia. They went into this tournament appealing for extra funding after the funding in Australia was cut short. They got a sponsor here in the UK to come and help them out, and they're being watched by Darcy Ward here in Manchester tonight, as our British viewers are only too aware, and Darcy will be delighted, I'm sure. It is fantastic to see him here, and well done to Australia, well done to Denmark as well for pushing it all the way. The Danes seemed a lost cause at one stage. They took it to heat number 20, and it has been a dramatic finale, and what this meeting has lacked perhaps in passing has certainly gained in tension and drama, going all the way to the last heat here in the race-off. Let's confirm the final score for you now. Australia 44, Denmark 41, Russia 32, USA 9. The World Cup final here in Manchester tomorrow night will feature Great Britain, Poland, Sweden and Australia.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You got that spot on. The racing hasn't been of the highest quality tonight. Well, not the most dramatic racing that we've witnessed so far in the World Cup. But in truth, the score line kept it very tense indeed, and it goes all the way to a last heat decider. What a ride from Jason Doyle. You know, that just shows you when you win Grand Prix and you start believing you can produce the goods at the highest level, when you've got a rider feeling like that and riding like that, what a luxury it is to have him coming out when the pressure's really on. There you can see how much it meant to Mark Lemon, quite clearly feeling the tension prior to Heat 20, and probably, in actual fact, 17 through to Heat 20, because suddenly the Danes really meant business and they put an awful lot of pressure on. Relief, celebration time for them. We're going to see them tomorrow in the World Cup final. Two major nations miss out, of course. Denmark and Russia will not be there. Such is the competitiveness now of World Championship Speedway. But yeah, terrific stuff. Very much looking forward to tomorrow.
So it was 3 points that made the difference tonight. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Join us for all our reaction after the break.